New rankings year-to-date and for April, straight talk about profitability, how to analyze your financial statements, the advertising calendar for the balance of 2010, and do these closes sound familiar? All that and more. Today is Friday, May 7th, and this is PWLC Group. Rankings for April and year-to-date reveal some fantastic data. First and foremost, we're looking at a record number of centers breaking $500,000 in revenue and a record number of centers on track for $250,000 in revenue. I'm mostly excited about the fact that we could have at least 3 centers top the $1 million mark in 2010. Overall, the network is on track to completely make up the deficit that was created during the recession and surpass the natural organic growth of the business that we've experienced for the last 6 years. In other words, you may have made your money later and all at once, but the network is on track to demonstrate a complete and total financial recovery, and that was without a federal bailout. Look for your rankings later today by fax and by email. Let's have some straight talk about profitability. To professionally measure the profitability of your center, you must complete a financial statement every single month without fail. You need to recognize discretionary expenses as income as well. As an example, if you're putting automobiles, vacations, meals, cell phones, etc. through the business, you have to recognize that that is income. Now, I'm not talking about for tax purposes. I mean, if you spent $30,000 in the course of the year on vacations, cars, and cell phones, that's money that would have normally fallen to your side of the table. Understand that creating and reviewing financial statements are as much a part of the business as having clients. To truly recognize the success of your business, you have to know how to read your financials. Here is a quick way to do a 2-minute drill in 2 minutes or less on your financials. Here we go. Do program sales represent 60% of sales? Do product sales represent 40% of sales? Is cost of goods sold equal to 33% of product sales? Is advertising 10% of sales? Is payroll, including your doc, equal to 15% of sales? When you multiply your total payroll expense by 8, are you within 20% of your total sales for the time period? And is your pre-tax profit margin equal to or greater than 20%? Done. That's your initial 2-minute drill on how to analyze your financial statements. All centers are required to submit quarterly financials within 15 days of the conclusion of the quarter. The deadline for all centers has already passed for submission of the 2009 year-end financials. However, depending on your incorporation classification and if you filed an extension, you may have additional time. You could most likely have additional time to file your final statements. Over the next few weeks, you'll be notified as to whether we have your financials or not and what the status is of your financials. In the meantime, and more importantly, when doing the 2-minute financial test, if you discover your numbers are not in line, please contact me for guidance and direction on how to fix it if you want that help. So let's take a look at the advertising calendar now for the balance of 2010, because that's going to impact your financials along with payroll more than anything else. Those 2 items alone, but we're going to focus on advertising for right now. Here's a quick look at the balance of 2010.
When we look at the 2010 advertising calendar, we have to recognize that we have huge sales opportunities over a number of advertising flights. We still have the remainder of flight number 2, flight number 3, flight 4, 5, 6, and the short flight of number 7 between Christmas and New Year's. Let's first take a look at the external advertising dates that are not recommended. May 23rd, May 30th. Those are Sunday dates. And remember, we don't want to advertise the week before or the week of a holiday. We now have 3 remaining weeks, 6/6, 6/13, and 6/20 to advertise. And in most markets, you could go as far as 6/27 if need be, because Independence Day falls on a Sunday. So we're really getting the benefit of the full week before. In Flight 4, we have 7/11, 18, and 25, as well as 8/1, 8/8, 8/15, 8/22, all the way up until the week before Labor Day. So we don't want to advertise the week before or the week of Labor Day. That gives us an extended flight going on into September, which is the beginning of our second season. In many cases, depending on when school starts, your season may even start before Labor Day. But September's huge, October is huge, and it's our second largest ad flight being flight 5, from 9/12 all the way until 11/14. Again, we don't want to advertise the week before or the week of Labor Day, but it's Katie bar the door all the way until Thanksgiving after that. Thanksgiving, we don't want to advertise the week of, or the week before, the week of, and then we have a couple of weeks, and as far as many as 3 weeks, if you've been open at least a year by that time, you've got plenty of people you could restart, sell 10 and 15-pound programs to. And then a lot of people take advantage of Flight 7 as a pay now, start later, ad flight between Christmas and New Year's. So that's a quick look at the 2010, the balance of the 2010 advertising calendar. If you have any questions or need assistance with laying out your advertising, please contact me and we'll talk more about this next week as well.
A critical part of every center is the ability of the staff to successfully close the sale. See if any of these closes sound familiar. So, what do you think? Does this seem like something maybe you kind of sort of want to do? Well, you told me you spent more gaining weight than what our program costs. Hold on. You told me your husband didn't care if you joined our program or not. Jenny Craig? Why would you want to check out Jenny Craig? Yeah, we're open until 7, and be sure to ask for me when you come back. Well, I guess I'll see you about a week from now. Are you sure you don't want to set up an appointment to enroll for when you come back? Yes, you have 3 full days to change your mind and cancel, and we'll give you all of your money back. If those closes sound familiar, you suffer from what doctors call scaredicaticus salesmanshipicus, or in other words, you don't know how to close the sale. Now, I'm going to talk more about this next week, but in the meantime, I'm going to give you some homework. There's some things I need you to focus on. First and foremost, what is a sale? A sale, or what is closing a sale? Closing a sale is when you ask someone to buy, not what they think, not repeating back to them just what they said. It's always asking them to buy. A close always is completed by asking them to take action to buy. Always anticipate an objection and understand the formula for closing. And if you've been through training, if you've been anywhere near me in the last 12 months, you know what I'm getting ready to say. Close the sale, overcome the objection, hit the hot button, close the sale again. And most of you know the physical exercise for doing that. And finally, repeat up to 6 times. Again, we'll talk more about this next week. In the meantime, look for rankings by fax and email later today. The deadline for Managers College is next Friday at the close of business. And always, always, always send your weekly reports to reports@pwlc.com. Reports@pwlc.com. That's reports@pwlc.com. That's your wrap up. Have a great weekend, everybody.